2018 WJTS Sports presents the Jasper Wildcats versus the Southridge Raiders. This game is brought to you by DuBois County Tire and Supply, McDonald's, Carpet Warehouse, Ubler & Sons, Mariners Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, and Big O Tires. Now let's go down to the court.
Welcome to Huntingburg Memorial Gym. Tonight, the Jasper Wildcats and the Southridge Raiders tip off the 21-22 season, as the Wildcats coming off a 6-17 season against the Southridge team that finished last year as sectional and regional champs and finished the season at 17-11. Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Schneider along with Jason Stamm and Jeremy Markos on the video. And Jason, of course, the Wildcats are returning quite a few players from last year's season. You know, it was a difficult year with only 6 wins, but they returned 4 of their 5 top scorers, including Gus Heichelbeck, who averaged 8.2 points per ball game. You have Tanner Ernie, you have Moondy back, you have Connor Foley, and but the key player is Isaac Day. I don't know if we'll see him this season. You know, he had a pretty serious football injury that's supposed to keep him out 4 to 6 months. And so there's a probably good possibility we may not see him play. So the Wildcats are going to have to play without him this year. But, you know, it's just one of those situations where, you know, you got to rebuild from one year to the next. And if you have a tough year, you got to basically come back the next season and be ready to go.
Yeah, that's right, Craig. You know, like you said, you know, last year was obviously not what we were expecting or what we were wanting. I think, you know, there was a lot of lessons to be learned from last year. We were in a lot of ball games. You know, we lost a lot of overtime games. We lost some close games down the end. We just never did figure out how to win the game, you know, in the last 2-3 minutes of the game.
Right.
So, you know, like I said, we've got a lot of returning players. So, you know, hopefully they can take something away from that season that we had last year and build on it this year. You know, we're a predominantly junior and senior-led team this year. So, you know, you've got some guys out there with some experience. You've got Grant Young, you know, that's, you know, and the bad part with that is, you know, he's in a crucial spot as being a point guard.
Right.
You know, and you know, we're gonna miss Isaac. There's no doubt about it. You know, I was looking forward to getting to see Isaac play this year.
Yep.
You know, he kind of took his lumps last year, and you know, coming into this year, I was excited to get to see him lead this team. But
right.
You know, injuries happen. You just got to move on and work with what you have.
And we're taking on a Southridge team that's got a lot of change for them, of course, with their head coach, Kyle Swafford, who has taken over. He came over from Monrovia in his 5 years there. He was 75-45 and won a sectional title in 2019. So Mark Royer has moved on to Gibson Southern. But, you know, the Southridge team, too, you know, they lost 4 of their 5 starters from that team that went to the semi-state. And, of course, they bring back Carter Whitehead, who was their second leading scorer at over 10 points a game. So they got a lot of question marks coming into the game, and we are all set for action. So Jasper wins the tip, and so they'll work their offense to get things started.
Southridge starts out in a man-to-man.
So you mentioned Grant Young. He's getting the start tonight. Tanner Ernie and also Moondy's out there. You got Gus Heichelbeck and Connor Foley. So the Wildcats going with a couple bigs to go along with a 3-guard lineup.
Connor's got, you know, 3-4 inches on anybody out there, so we need him to be in there and play big. This Moondy's aggressive and takes the ball to the hole. And, you know, I mean, we're going to see a lot of that this year. I think, you know, he got his feet wet last year towards the end of the season there, midway through, and has developed, you know, I mean, he's always been a scorer. But I think, you know, at the varsity level it's a little bit different, but I think he's going to adjust to it well.
And Southridge starts Connor Tilley, number 2. Mick Ubelor is number 4. Caden Nykum is 5. Number 10 is Fernando Hernandez, and we mentioned Carter Whitehead, number 20 out there. He'll be the leader for this team all season. So there's a 3-point shot on the way, and rattles around and goes in. So 3 points for Caden Nykum, and we got a 3-2 ball game.
We got to do a little bit better job of getting through that screen. Tanner kind of went underneath of it instead of over the top and left the guy open at the top of the key.
So Foley with a nice move and finds the up and under shot. So 4 points for the Cats. They lead 4-3, just underway here. We played about a minute and a half of the basketball game so far. Jasper versus Southridge. Both these teams were supposed to start the season in their opener last year, but of course Southridge run in the tournament in football moved that game back into January. Of course, the Wildcats won that game in overtime, 49-44.
You were talking about, Southridge, what all they're missing. Obviously Colson Montgomery, big-time basketball player. They're missing him, and they also had, some complementary players to go along with him, and they got a big rebuilding. They did go to the semi-state, but they got a big real rebuilding project to go with it this year. So
that personal foul is called on Tanner Ernie, his first foul on the Wildcats. 4-3 is our score. 5:44 on the clock here. So again, John Gable in his 15th year. It's hard to imagine he's been here for 15 years, but that is the case with 187 and 136 record. He's won 2 sectionals. Three-pointer on the way is short there, and Moondy comes down with the board. He's got to watch behind. It's a good hustle there by Carter Whitehead, but the Cats get into their offense as they get it down into Gus. Nice spin move, strong move, and puts it up and in. So the Wildcat Bigs, 4 points between Foley and Heichelbeck looking to add a free throw.
Gus is a handful inside. I mean, he's a wide body. When he gets the ball down there on the low post, he's got a lot of very good inside moves for a big man. So we look for some good things out of him this year.
All right, so the Wildcats with an early 4-point lead. 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 7-3. Gus has 3 on that 3-point play. Shot from the wing, bounds around and goes in for Nick Ubelor, so he gets 2 points. We got a 7-5 game now. Gus with a little post-up move, puts the shot up, and a nice touch there. So Gus is really working that inside ball game. He's got 5 quick ones. Jasper with a 9-5 lead.
That's what I like to see, Gus down there on the low post block. He's probably one of our better outside shooters, but he's also one of our better inside players, so I like to see him staying in there, working hard on it.
All right, so the Raiders not able to hit from the perimeter there, and so quickly the other way, Tanner has it. Now feed back into Gus. A little stuck in the lane, but he makes a move, and they're going to actually call a foul down low, and so the Cats will inbound this ball. I don't think it was on the shot. Well, yep, they are going to say it's a shooting foul. Okay.
Give him 2.
All right, so that's the second foul whistled on Southridge. First one whistled on Connor Tooley. And Gus showing his free throw shooting prowess there. He's 2 for 2. And gets the roll there, so Gus, 7 points in the quarter. Jasper now leads by 6, 11-5.
Michael Beekler's getting ready to check in for Jasper.
The baseline drive, now he feeds out, and it's going to be a battle for the basketball. Mooney's going to tie things up with Fernandez, number 10. Hernandez, sorry about that. Fernando Hernandez is number 10 for Southridge. 5'9", 167-pound senior. All right, so Gus is going to sit as Beekler comes in. Now we got a Southridge substitution.
Levi Nykum, junior, 5'11". They've got a lot of guys that are right around the same size.
All right, so the Raiders get into their offense. Ubelor gives it up to Tooley. Drive there by Nykum. Whitehead gets his first shot off, and he drills a 3-pointer. So Carter Whitehead with 3 points and makes it a 3-point game. Jasper leads 11-8.
I would say Whitehead's going to be, at the end of the year, Whitehead will be up there towards the leading scorer for them. He's a nice shooter. He's been playing, I think, since probably like a sophomore. So, he's had a lot of varsity experience.
Foley takes advantage of his size over Nykum, and he gets his 4th point of the ball game. So the Wildcat Bigs help the Wildcats to a 5-point lead.
We talked about that before the game, Craig, a little bit, how we felt like our 2 big guys inside could be a handful for them. not just the size, height, but there's a nice steal by Mundy.
And he gets fouled from behind by Levi Nykum.
It's not necessarily the height, but it's the bulk. You know, I mean, Foley's good size, wide shoulders. Heichelbeck definitely the same way. You know, and those guys are space eaters in there. And at the high school game, you know, that can go a long way when you have that.
Yeah, no question. And I know we were talking about Gus Heichelbeck listed at 6'2". We wonder if he's a little bit bigger or taller than that. Connor Foley listed at 6'5".
Heichelbeck's back in, and Jack Albrand, the senior, he's getting his first experience tonight. Shooting free throws well tonight.
Absolutely, 5 of 5.
That's a good thing to see.
So Jasper extends to a 7-point lead, 15-8 with 2:38 to go here in the first quarter. Jasper against Southridge. John Gable against Kyle Swafford in his first game for the Southridge Raiders. And the shot is short there, and coming down with the rebound is Beekler, who's checked in. Albrand also in. Good drive there, and the shot does not drop there for Grant Young, but a three-point shot from the corner doesn't go for Albrand, so the Wildcats come up with nothing on that trip. Southridge looking to cut into it. A quick three-pointer on the way is long, and Albrand brings it down. Inside of 2 minutes, 15-8 is our score.
There's a matchup you want. Now,
what a spin move by Gus. I tell you what, that shows some quickness there.
And the thing with that too is, you know, they're starting to look to double, and Gus is a good post player because he does look for the guy that's doubling, because somebody obviously is open when that happens, and he was kind of looking that there and then made the baseline spin move.
So 9 points for the big man for the Wildcats. Nice spin move in the lane, shot up, and it drops in. So that is 5 points for Caden Nykum. It makes it a 17-10 game. Gus with a nice feed to Beekler. He's trying to position himself, but the ball gets knocked away, but Grant Young hangs on, feeds it down into Gus down in the post. He's got a spin move or just a move into the lane, but can't get the shot to drop. Minute to go here, 17-10, Southridge with the ball.
Southridge will be patient here probably. If they get one shot, fine. If look to get the best shot here, well, guess not.
Yep, long rebound, though, comes down by the Raiders, and now Whitehead's going to slow it down with 40 seconds, see if they'll hold for one. Caden Nykum drives. Albrand forces him out. 26 seconds now. Jasper with a 17-10 lead.
This last year, this was a perfect Montgomery scenario here. You know, they would do what they had to get him a shot.
Oh yeah.
Looks like Nykum might be the guy this year that they're going to do that with.
Thule gets that bucket. Now Gus is trying to get a quick one with 6 seconds to go, and he puts it up and in. So Gus with double figures in the first quarter. Jasper with a 7-point lead, and he bounces. Oh, it goes in. So Whitehead hits a three-pointer at the buzzer. 6 points for him. And that makes it a 4-point game at the end of one. Jasper 19, Southridge 15 here on 18 WJTS. Well, the Jasper Wildcats with a strong first quarter, scoring 19 points, led by Gus Heichelbeck's 11. But Southridge staying in it with a half-court shot by Carter Whitehead. He had 2 3-pointers in that first quarter. And as we start the second, the Cats will have it in a 4-point lead.
You know, we were talking there at the break. You know, Gus made a nice move and got you up 7, and you thought, that's a nice quarter, and then they hit that and it knocks it down to 4.
Right.
Now they, you know, turn over there and they get the ball. The momentum, that was, you know, they always talk about momentum, and that was a big switch to it there.
Oh, no question. There's a 3-point shot there, so Southridge is popping that 3. That's one thing Swafford said, is he's going to have a team that's going to be able to hit the perimeter shot, and they're showing it so far here, and it's a 1-point game, 19-18. Spencer Engler in the ball game, and Gus can't hit the reverse, so here come the Raiders the other way.
Gus needs to gather himself there, take a power dribble, and get his shoulder square to the basket and go up. He kind of was off balance and sideways and just kind of threw it up there.
So actually number 45 is checked in. That is number.
There's an offensive foul.
Yeah, that's actually going to go on Cameron Fusler.
Didn't have his feet set when he set the ball screen.
All right, so Ernie checks in. Young's going to sit down.
So we've got Foley, Ernie, Albrand, Heichelbeck, and Englert.
So both teams starting to utilize their bench here.
You know, and early in the season like this, you know, Coach Gable, as well as all coaches, there's a wide open three. Did a good job following his shot, though.
So the battle on the
but
board
a lot
there.
of what they call a foul on Gus laying on the floor.
Actually, that's Brayson Foose, who was in the ball game, number 14. He was in on that scramble, and so Southridge will have the basketball.
Beekler's in for Heichelbeck. But my point I was making a while ago was, you know, coaches will use a lot of players early in the season to see what combinations work. And, you know, throughout the course of the year, you know, you'll start to see some guys they'll play themselves into a role, and some of them will play themselves out of it.
All right, so the Raiders, if they score here, will take the lead. They led early on 2-0.
Ooh.
Englert all over Whitehead. Picks up his dribble and has to work it around. Now it eventually gets over here to number 5, Nykum. He's thinking about that three from outside that S.
He is.
All right, so Southridge patient in their possession here. This is the big one because if they score, like I said, they'll take the lead. Jasper was up by 7 in that first quarter.
We've got to have help side defense there. Foley did a good job of getting – you got to cut that guy off before he gets in the lane. Once he gets in the lane, it's too late.
Yeah.
And the coaching staff was down there yelling at those guys down there on that low post. When they run that one-on-one move there, you got to have help.
All right, so Whitehead short on that jumper, and the Cats can't come down to the rebound. Southridge will reset. 5:10 on the clock, 1-point game, 19-18. Second quarter action here, the Wildcats against the Raiders. And they're going to actually call a foul right there on Spencer. So
that's a pretty, I don't know what the polite word to use was, but it wasn't much of a foul. I mean, he slipped.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and Englert was just right there. He didn't really do anything.
I agree.
But
all right, so the Cats make a move there with Mundi back in the ball game. Beekler comes in, gives a little bit more size down low. It's Gus Heichelbeck sitting on the bench right now. He's 11 points tonight. 1-point lead for the Wildcats inside of 5 minutes at 4:48. Nykum nowhere to go in the lane, gives it up. Whitehead.
Real good job of help defense there. Foley got there and a couple other guys got there to help.
This is definitely a good defensive series for the Cats, and a steal. Good job by Foley. Now he's going to drive. And it gets knocked away, and they say it was clean. So Jasper will hang on to the basketball.
Wow.
The Jasper fans not happy about no call on that play.
I think the lead official was a little trailing behind, and I don't think he got in front to see the contact that actually happened.
Right.
But we do end up getting to keep the ball, so that's better than nothing, I guess.
So Cats get Gus back in. And they try to inbound, and Foley cannot handle it, so Jasper having a tough time getting it in.
I mean, you got Foley out there. He's the biggest guy on the floor. Throw the ball up and let him go get it. You know, I don't know. I think Young was trying to inbounds it. He panicked a little bit, tried to throw it on the line too much instead of getting it up in the air.
Well, the Grant Young, Connor Foley connection worked a lot during the football season, but not right there, and so Southridge has another opportunity to take the lead. Backdoor play, and a good job to be knocked away there by Ernie, and actually it went off Southridge, so Jasper will have it.
Yeah, that happened so fast I couldn't tell.
Yeah. All right, so Grant Young's going to bring it up. Feeds to Foley there. Mundi wide open from three. And in and out, but a good rebound there by Ernie to put it up and in. First 2 points for Tanner Ernie, and the Wildcats now lead 21-18. Their first bucket of the second quarter, and it comes with 3:45 to go.
Tanner did a good job of following that. Picked up a rebound and got the easy bucket.
Ubelor.
See, that's where Gus has got to be on the help line and get there and stop him good. Now you get back to your man. When they want to run that clear out play like that, if you don't have that help, the guy's going to get an easy bucket. It worked the first time, and we've done a better job of adapting to it.
Yeah, they list Ubelor at 6'4", but it's a pretty lanky 6'4" if he is that tall.
Yeah.
All right, so 21-18, 3 minutes to go here in the half. Southridge just going into a delay here. The Wildcats doing a nice job defensively.
I think part of what Southridge is doing is, you know, they're playing with basically 5 guards, so they're making our bigs try to go out there like Foley was out there guarding whoever number 4, whoever he was guarding. You know, they're making them guard him a long way from the basket.
Yeah, well, they try to feed down low to Fuser, but it gets knocked away, and here comes Grant Young with a beautiful feed to Mundi, and he puts it up and in.
Did a good job of running the floor. Grant kept his head up. Mundi run the opposite side, and Grant found him for a nice layup.
All right, so the Wildcats with 2 quick buckets make it a 5-point lead, 23-18 with 2:21 to go here in the first half. You're watching the Cats against the Raiders on 18 WJTS. Well, it's been a low-scoring quarter here. The Wildcats have scored 4. Southridge has 3. So we stand at 23-18 after a relatively high-scoring 19-15 first quarter.
Yeah, the second quarter, the pace has slowed down a little bit.
Cats getting really aggressive with their man-to-man now, chasing after everyone, especially out here on the perimeter. So Tanner Ernie right on top of his guy, and they actually lose the ball in half court, and so the Cats, I think the aggressiveness threw Southridge off and forced the turnover there.
Yeah, good defense. Good defense can lead to offensive chances, and right there it did. I mean, it got them a turnover and get them the ball. See if they can capitalize on it now.
So Levi Nykum comes back into the ball game. Number 45, Fuser will sit. So again, Kyle Swafford trying to figure out his best lineups to utilize as well. Beekler's in the ball game for the Cats. And the Cats almost lose it there. Mundi, he wants the ball and he gets to the lane and he'll go shoot too. So that is the 5th team foul on the Raiders.
It's good to see Carter not always settling for the outside jump shot, being aggressive and taking the ball to the hole. He's a very good free throw shooter, so there's no reason not to.
Oh, yeah.
You know, get in there, take your lumps and go to the free throw line.
All right, so John Gable continues to work his bench. Allbrand back in. Englert looking to check in. So you got Grant Young out there. So Mundi looks to hit his 4th free throw of the night, and he does. Yeah, it's going to be key for Wildcats, like you said, you know, get in positions where you can score, and Mundi getting to the free throw line is going to be huge all year. I guarantee he's probably going to be an 80-plus free throw shooter.
Oh, there's no doubt. If he's not, I'd be totally surprised.
Yeah.
And you've got to stay that way. You've got to play aggressive.
Now the Raiders find themselves down by 7. Hit that early 3-pointer to start the quarter. They step out of bounds, so good job here by Foley to extend him to that point.
Those are turnovers that'll drive a coach crazy that are just, I mean, they're not forced, you know.
Okay, some more substitutions. You get Mundi back into the ball game. Gus is back in, so try to get some offense here with 1:18 to go, and the Cats have a chance to extend this 7-point lead, 25-18.
Yeah, that's what Coach Gable's doing right here. He's getting his offensive team back in there with Gus and Connor and trying to look to get an easy bucket here. They had a set play there. It was double screen for Mundy, and Southridge did a pretty good job of coming off of it.
Mundy, wide open, hits it. So he's having a quarter. 4 points in the first quarter. He has got 7 in this quarter, so 11 points for him, and now it's a 10-point lead for the Wildcats, 28-18 with 42 seconds to go, and the Raiders work it. Cats get after it defensively. Foley is able to feed it to Grant Young. Here we go.
I'm not sure how they didn't call traveling on that. Connor was sitting on his behind and spun about a half circle, and they just kind of let it go.
I know. So Gus gets the bucket on the other end. So now the Wildcats, it was a 1-point game. Now it's a 12-point lead, 30-18. And here comes Foley with another steal. He wants it himself this time. A little finger roll doesn't go, but Grant Young can't put it back up and in. And Whitehead comes down for the Southridge Raiders with 3 seconds. They hit a half-court shot last time. Can they hit another buzzer beater? Yes! They have done it twice. The end of the first quarter, and now Thule hits a 3 there.
Well, that was, again, those are just helter-skelter plays, but, from Jasper's standpoint, they got to hustle back on defense to try to not give up an open shot. So,
well, they had a 3-pointer to start the quarter and 1 to end there. So we're going in at halftime. Wildcats up by 9, 30-21. So, Jason, what are your thoughts on what you saw from both teams?
First game of the season, you don't know what they expect. I thought overall, both teams, I don't know turnover-wise, but I think they did a pretty good job of, not committing. Both teams took care of the basketball. So.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll take a break, and when we come back here at halftime, Jeremy, make sure you're ready for this, but we got Colson Montgomery is going to be interviewed here by Jason, so we'll take a break. Jasper leads 30-21 here on 18 WJTS.
All right, well, we got a little special entertainment tonight at halftime. Colson Montgomery's agreed to join us. We'll just sit and talk a little bit, Colson, nothing formal. First off, congratulations on the 3A state title. That had to be really an exciting time up there to end your high school career that way. Talk a little bit about that.
It was a great feeling, especially with our freshman and sophomore year going up there and having a little heartbreak loss and all that stuff. But coming out our senior year, finishing off with the state title, especially with all those guys and just grinding with them every day, and especially the young dudes who got to experience all that stuff, and they just really realize what it's like to win a state championship and stuff. So, it was a great feeling, especially coming out here too, and getting our rings and letting those kids kind of just realize what it's all about.
There's no doubt. So. It was a very exciting night, obviously up there for all of DuBois County, but especially for you guys. And then like you said tonight, you got presented with your rings and all that. So that all has to be really been exciting. And then from there, you got invited out to Arizona for draft night. That had to be exciting. And your family got to go along with you.
Oh, yeah.
Just walk me through that a little bit.
That whole experience, especially being the first in-person draft and all that stuff, it was crazy. It was crazy. All the stuff they had us doing and the people we got to meeting the commissioner and all that stuff. It's just kind of what you dream about when you're a little kid, getting your name called and especially being able to walk up on stage and all that stuff. And especially with my family being there, too, to experience it all and just kind of just reflect kind of on all the hard work, the days and everything like that, and just going through all of that with all of them, it was just amazing.
Yeah, there's no doubt, obviously you've been playing baseball for a long, long time, and that had to be a great feeling to every little kid's dream to hear their name called on draft night like that.
Oh, yeah.
And to be the 22nd pick for the Chicago White Sox, at that point you probably don't care who you go to, where you go, you just want to go.
Exactly.
And I know we were watching it and it was exciting and nerve-wracking just sitting there watching it on TV, so I couldn't imagine what it would be like, for you guys being out there.
Exactly. It was very nerve-wracking too, because I knew I was going on the first day, but I didn't know where. Yeah. So there was a range from 10 to 20 to the late round, so it was just somewhere in there. It was just kind of a waiting game.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a lot of build-up tension and excitement and all that. What do you think the biggest adjustment going from high school baseball to the professional baseball level like that?
I mean, a lot, especially just the speed and the physicality and everything like that. I mean, kids are a lot faster, they get down the line quicker, and they hit it a lot harder at you. So you got to develop an internal clock with a lot of things, and you have those guys out there to help you improve and all that stuff. But that's really all. They just want you to improve each day, get better, and they know it's a grind. They know there's going to be days when you're not going to be feeling it, you're not going to be your same or whatever.
Right.
But it's just kind of try and be consistent with it all.
It's a job now. I mean,
exactly.
it is. In high school, it's a sport. And you not that you don't enjoy this, but it's more of a job. I mean, you're out there every day trying to produce and prove yourself. So it is a big adjustment for guys.
It's a lot more serious.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you just got to think still it's a kid's game.
Yeah, it is. So. It is. I know you hit 287, I think, in the rookie league this year. Yeah. Were you pleased with your production?
Yeah. I mean, I stayed really consistent throughout it all, and there was a stat or something. I got on base a lot, which that's kind of really what I wanted to do. And I knew it was going to be a big adjustment from high school pitching.
Right.
It's a lot better, and their stuff moves a lot more and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just that was really much of it. I just tried wanting to stay consistent with it all, and I felt like I did.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I've followed you a little bit, watching your Twitter feeds or things from the White Sox, and I noticed the other day that they got you ranked as the #1 prospect in the organization. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be a big weight on your shoulders, but really exciting too for an organization like that to put that much vested in you.
Exactly.
To think that much of you.
You feel a lot of pressure from it all, but at the same time, I still think like they believe in me that much, and that just kind of gains my confidence with it all. And I know there's a lot of really good players in the organization, but for them to put me at the top, it means a lot, and it keeps my confidence going, and stuff like that.
Was it tough being away from home for that extended time?
So at first, it was, and then you kind of got used to being away, and then you built friendships with all those guys out there. So then it's just
you kind of have a family amongst those guys.
Yeah, and you're with them every day for long periods of time. So it's kind of like they kind of turn into your family. And
and they're in the same spot you are.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what's really good to kind of help me is that like. There's times where you feel like you're going at it alone with things, but they're doing the exact same thing I am.
They're in the same spot.
Exactly.
So, well, Colson, again, congratulations on the state title.
Thank you.
And the opportunity to live every little boy's dream to play professional baseball. It's been a pleasure knowing you. I've been around you since you were like 9 years old, and you're a fine young man, and the White Sox are lucky to have you in their organization and everything. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll keep coming around, and we'll keep seeing you.
For sure.
But again, congratulations. Thanks for the time tonight.
No problem.
Good luck.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Colson.
All right, we're at halftime getting ready for the start of the second half. The Jasper Wildcats against the Southridge Raiders. Cats with a 30-21 lead here, and we'll take a look at the scoring. First for Gus Heichelbeck. He leads the Wildcats 13 points, 11 points for Carter Mundy, so 2 Wildcat scores in double figures, but only 4 players have scored. Connor Foley's got 4, and a deuce for Tanner Ernie. Southridge, 4 players have scored for them, including Carter Whitehead 6, 5 points for Caden Nykum, 5 points for Mick Ubelor, and Connor Tooley with 5. And Jason, appreciate you lining up that interview at halftime there with Colson Montgomery. So how'd that go?
Well, Colson's a great kid.
Right.
He's a great young man. I've had the opportunity to coach him a few years there, in travel baseball when he was like 9 years old, 9, 10, and 11, I believe. And he's just a very humble, down-to-earth young man.
Right.
And I really appreciate him taking the time, to do that. When we got off the camera, I told him, I said, you're probably tired of this. He goes, no. He said, this is my 4th one tonight, and And that's great to see a kid, having the confidence and the willingness to do that.
Absolutely.
Because, there's a lot of kids at his age that would just be like a nervous wreck, but
Right.
he's in the position now he can't. I mean, he's going to be in front of a camera. He's going to be on the air
No question.
a lot,
Right.
And in the interview, I told him, I said, I saw he's ranked as the Chicago White Sox's #1 prospect in
Wow,
all
already.
of their organizations. So,
That's great.
that's a great feat for him, and hopefully, he can build on that and take his, people don't realize with baseball, it's not when you get drafted, you don't go to the major leagues. You have to put in your time. Scott Rowland did it.
Yes.
And they pay the price, and,
Right.
and they work hard, and there's a nice move for Foley. But, if they continue to work hard, good things will follow.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. All right, so again, we wish Colson Montgomery nothing but the best in his professional baseball career. All right, so the Wildcats have scored 2 points to start things off here in the second half, and now have extended their lead to an 11-point lead, 32-21, after Foley hit that bucket there. Tell you what, we had an exciting pickup game there at halftime, too. The Southridge seniors against the Wildcats seniors.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I just saw some of the wild shots going up.
Absolutely.
Who won?
I don't know who won. I actually had to take a trip to the restroom there, so I missed a couple buckets.
I
but
didn't
I heard
know
the
if
cheering
anybody
out
scored.
here. But still, it was a lot of fun.
It was
for both
pretty
of them.
ugly, but it's a lot of fun.
All right, football players for both teams, and it's cool that they were able to do that tonight. Whitehead's not able to hit that shot, and Gus could not gather the rebound, so Southridge will hang on.
Carter had a nice move there, a little crossover, got him a wide open shot. It just didn't go down for him. But
all right, so we played a minute and a half here. Jasper with a 32-21 lead. It's 2 points scored so far by Connor Foley here in the second half of both these teams. Whitehead sets up, and he gets his feet set for an easy bucket there, and he has scored 9 points, all from three-point range.
he's a shooter. You leave him open like that, he's going to hit him.
And second leading scorer behind Colson last year in that run to the semi-state for the Southridge Raiders. 8-point game now.
One of the things I asked Colson there off the air, I asked him, I said, do you miss basketball? And he said, yeah. He said, before the game, I was standing down there by the tunnel. He said, I just wanted to grab a ball and go out and shoot.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing with him. He did get drafted in baseball, but he could have went a lot of places to play college basketball.
Oh, I agree. So the Wildcats with an 8-point lead, 32-24. And Gus is going to be called, yes, for the offensive foul. Good position there by Connor Tooley.
He just stood there, and maintained his ground, and Gus kind of leaned back into him, and it was an offensive foul.
So second foul on Gus, second team foul on the Wildcats. 32-24 with 5:48 to go here in the third. Another body tumbling there, but no call.
Foley decided to run through the screen instead of around it.
Fadeaway J does not go, and so here comes Tanner Ernie. Grant Young feeds into Foley. Now they try another flop there, doesn't go. And there's a three-pointer by Mundi. So Mundi is just showing that, again, this could be his breakout season.
I think, as the season progresses and teams start to see him more, he's going to have a hard time getting that wide open shot.
Right.
I'm not saying he can't or won't score and he won't get shots, but there he was left wide open. And,
right.
And I think as teams start watching film, the way today's technology, it's easy to find film on anybody.
Right.
And they're going to see that, they can't leave him open like that. And that's fine. Other guys are going to have to step up and be able to score or get him open so that he can score.
Well, and again, that's where that inside-outside game, though, could benefit him, too, if you get Gus and Foley down low. Foley with a two-handed jam the other way. So the Cats come up with the steal, and they are able to get the break and extend this lead to a 13-point lead, 37-24.
Yeah, you could see that one coming when Connor got the knockaway down there, and I don't know who got it, that made a nice feed to him out ahead in front of everybody.
Right. 4:33 on the clock now in the third quarter. Jasper. Foley's got 4 points to lead the Wildcats here in this quarter. Drive to the basket there, cut off by Foley. Now Whitehead up top, and Ingwert's on him. Sets that ball screen there, and he's able to drive and get good position. It's going to be a three-point play opportunity. So
that, in my opinion right there, that was Foley's fault. His man set the screen. He didn't hedge the screen. He just stayed out of, I don't know who took the ball to the bucket, Whitehead.
Right. Yep.
But he just stayed out of his way. He's got to let his man, his buddy know that screen's coming, and he's got to get there and to stop him. I mean, he had a clear lane to the basket.
Right. All right, so Whitehead with a good touch there. So 12 points for Carter Whitehead now, 6 in the quarter. 37-27. Three-point play cuts it down to 10.
We get that lead, but we just can't add on to it.
Ingwert lost handle there. Good job there by Mundy to gather it. Tanner Ernie now being picked up by number 5, Nykum. Now they work it around. Screen set there. Feed out to the corner. Ernie will get to the lane, puts the shot up, and he draws the foul.
Tanner did an outstanding job of that last year. You know, he's very capable of putting the ball on the floor and going to the hole.
Right.
That's the best part of his offensive game, is going to the basket. You know, and he somehow he's able to do that. You know, and right there was a perfect example. He's got a chance for a three-point play, and he converts it.
All right, so both sides. You had Whitehead on the other end, Tanner Ernie over here converting the old-fashioned three-point play, and so the Cats get that 13-point lead back, 40-27 with 3:38 to go here in the third.
Allbrand's in for Ernie.
Mundy goes after it, but recovers.
Nice.
Now Foley kind of lost his position. The shot doesn't go.
We got by with two bad defensive plays down there. Mundy went around the backside of the guy to try to make the steal and left the guy wide open to go to the bucket. And then he made a nice entry pass, and Foley made a feeble attempt to try to knock it away. And we got lucky to get out of that without a Southridge scoring.
First personal foul called on Caden Nykum. Third team foul on the Raiders. Cats have 4. Wide open. And he's not able to make him pay this time. So Mundy.
It's too wide open that time.
I think so. Not quite in rhythm.
They kind of run a double screen down low for Mundy to run off of.
Okay.
His guy got knocked to the ground. That's why he ended up so wide open that time. That's way out there.
Long three, rattles in and out. So Mundy's going to bring it up. 2:43 to go. Cats trying to extend this 13-point lead. Feed down into Beekler. He makes a nice spin move, but can't get it to drop, and he comes over the top, and he'll pick up the foul.
You know, it's amazing at how many times in a high school basketball game you see that play right there. Guy gets a ball down low, makes a nice move, misses the shot, and then turns around and commits a silly foul.
It's a frustration foul.
It is.
Yeah.
Just take the miss and go back and play defense.
2.5 to go here in the third. All 6 points for the Raiders scored by Carter Whitehead. Thule gives it up, back over there, Nykum. 2:05 now. As Whitehead gets it, and Spencer's all over him. Comes off the screen, shot fake there, and now too long on that jumper, and here come Cats the other way. Spencer feeds it into Foley, and that's going to be a foul called on number 34. Hunter Eckert picks up the personal.
One thing I'd like to see us do less of, but it's a problem every year down on the defensive end, is on a shot fake. We got 2 or 3 guys that go up to try to block the shot.
Yeah.
It's just like, was that our first free throw miss
That
tonight?
is our first miss tonight.
That's what I knew we didn't have many.
So it's a first attempt by Foley. Cats had hit 7 of 7, 8 of 8 up to that point. 7 of 7 in the first half. Tanner hit that three-point play earlier.
Young was in for Mundy, and I believe Cameron Howard's getting ready to check in.
So Foley misses both, but Beekler gets the board, and he actually draws the foul. I think that's going to go on Whitehead.
Yeah, I believe Howard's going to come in for Foley. Yeah.
All right, so substitution here, number 53, Cameron Howard.
Gus is coming in, but he forgot to check in. He thought he was playing street ball. He could just run out on the floor.
He wanted to play in that pickup game at halftime.
Yeah.
One of his football teammates were in that game. Englert gets it on the left wing. It's picked up there by Nykem. Now he drives, kicks off, and a bucket popped right there by Grant Young. So Grant Young gets his first 2 points of the season. Cats now lead by 15, 42-27 with a minute and a half to go.
Those might be his first 2 varsity points. I'm not sure, but.
So limited, I think only action in 1 game last year, I believe.
Yeah.
That's a 3-point shot on the way, and it's drilled. So Ubalor pops one there, and Southridge calls the timeout. So they trim it to 12, 42-30. We'll take a break with a minute 15 to go here in the third on 18 WJTS. 42-30 is our score. Jasper with a 12-point lead over the Raiders. Raiders trimmed it with a Mick Ubalor 3-pointer there.
Southridge looks like, they're going to be one of these guys that if they get hot on a given night from the 3-point line, they're going to be able to light it up.
Right.
Especially if a team's playing a zone or something where they get a lot of wide opens.
Moondy short on that 3-point shot, but good rebound and kick back out for a 3-pointer by Albrand doesn't go, but Grant Young battles and puts it back up and in. So Grant Young's got his 4th point of the ball game, but that was a nice rebound by Cameron Howard to keep that alive there on that offensive board.
Yeah, we did a good job of getting to the board there. Got 2 offensive rebounds, ended up in a layup.
Drive here by Nykem, and now the ball gets knocked away, battle around, and Howard comes up with it. So he's contributing here in his 3rd quarter, and Moondy passes up the shot. Jasper with a 14-point lead. Now there's Grant Young with his first 3-pointer. Doesn't go, and look at that rebound, and shot back up, and he gets fouled. Cameron Howard showing some hustle here. 2 offensive rebounds.
He's Cameron's a young man that's, he's come a long way. I remember coaching and seeing him play in the middle school. He was one of those kids that he was kind of a betweener A, B player,
right.
Played a lot of B minutes, and he's an example of a kid that just works hard, keeps after it, and it's rewarding to get to see him, get the opportunity now to play some varsity basketball.
And he's smiling from ear to ear, and he pops a free throw there. He's just glad to be out on the floor at 6'5". He's paying dividends right now.
He sounds like he's a fan favorite too, because the student body went crazy when he came in the game. So
he is a junior. So 15-point lead now for the Wildcats. 8 seconds to go.
Gus has got to be ready here because they're going to try to.
Caden Nykem tries a step back, and then
there again, stay on the floor. Don't try to block that. We were lucky that that's the first one they've missed at the end of quarter right there.
I know, you're right. All right, so Jasper leads by 15, 45-30 as we go to the 4th here on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Wildcats outscored the Raiders 15-9 in the 3rd. Extend their lead to 15 at this point. Leading scores for both teams. Whitehead's got 12 for Southridge, 14 for Moondy, and 13 for Heikelbeck. However, Heikelbeck did not score in that 3rd quarter.
Oh, there's a what?
Tanner, nice touch, put that shot up and in, but a beautiful feed down low by Albrand.
Set play coming out of the timeout, and Jack knew exactly where to look, and Tanner was right there, and he was wide open.
Yeah.
Did a nice job of converting it. We just need to, we've played well for 3 quarters. Now we need to finish this out. Finish it out well, I thought we've played pretty decent on the defensive end. It'll be interesting to see what the coaching staff says.
Cats showed a little zone there, and Levi Nykem wasn't able to hit the open 3-point shot, and Foley's going to lose his footing.
That right there isn't all Foley's fault. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Jack that threw him the ball, but you're giving the ball to a big man in a bad position.
Yeah.
He doesn't know whether to dribble. He doesn't know whether to, it's just that kind of in between area. What do I do? Do I take it up strong? Do I take a power dribble? What do I do? And it was just
right. Well, we got a technical foul here because Michael Beekler tried to check in as the play already started. So he kind of had a little brain fade there, and so Whitehead's going to get a free throw shot. Actually, 2 of them here. So 47-31 now. 13 points for Whitehead. And again, I think everybody's just focused on that little pickup game where people were just kind of jumping in and out of the ball game. We saw Gus almost do it earlier, so now Beeker's able to check in after the foul shots.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know. Swafford, the Southridge coach, was kind of talking with Coach Gable, and I don't know whether he was. It was hard. It's hard to tell from here if it was a serious conversation or if he was actually aggravated about it. But
I just think the Raiders are kind of getting a little anxious there. That was a quick 3-point shot there by Mick Uvalor. Now they feed inside, and a quick, easy bucket for Foley. So Foley's having a nice second half. It's a 6th point of the second half and 10th point of the ball game.
On the offensive end here, you got a lead like this going into the fourth quarter. You want to continue to run your offense and shoot the open shots. I mean, but you don't want to force things. Just let the game come to you. And do what got you to this point in the game.
Well, the main thing is Wildcats have been real aggressive defensively, and you just got to keep that intensity for a full 32 minutes of basketball. So that ball goes actually off the side of the backboard, and so Jasper's going to come up with it. And, that's the other thing, too, is just when you get this type of lead, again, why not just keep the foot on the accelerator? I mean, you're up by 17, make it a 30-point win if you can.
Yeah, you're up 17. Let's work on getting it to 20. And then, if it stays at 20 for a while, that's okay. But then just continually try to add. There's Foley on an inside move. Did a good job of getting to the bucket. And that's what you want. You want guys to continue to do what they can do.
Right. Foley having an outstanding second half with 8 points.
Southridge is just they lack an inside presence, and they've got outside shooters, but to get those guys open, you've got to play that inside-outside game, and I think they're going to struggle with that early because they don't have that guy, the big guy inside to throw it to. The defense collapses and then has to get back.
Right. A 3-pointer by Tooley made it a 51-35 game with 5 minutes to go, and Foley with another bucket, so he is just owning the lane right now.
And that was a nice pass by Beekler. He had his head up on the dribble, made a nice bounce pass to him. Foley just caught it and shot it. Didn't have to think.
And nothing there for Nykum.
So in this, in a game like this is where it could get ugly because they're going to start jacking them up the threes like that don't hit anything.
Yeah. I think when you kind of get in that situation, you're down, but I know you got to quickly get back into the ball game, but still I think you got to show a little bit of patience to get a better shot.
Well, it still comes down to being able to trust your offense. That you've got to get shots out of your offense.
Right.
Unless you're a Division I basketball player, it's hard for guys to create, especially off the dribble. So at the high school level here in Southern Indiana, you got to trust your offense, trust your coaches that they're going to get you an offensive shot and try to get you back in the game.
Yeah. All right, so the Cats just 2 of 5 from the free throw line here in the second half after going 7 of 7 in the first. And that's going to be a foul on the floor, and I think this is going to go on Grant Young.
Yeah.
So an 18-point lead for the Wildcats, 53-35, 4.5 to go. 4:34 actually to go here in the ball game. So Whitehead looking to add to his 14 points tonight. Leads the Southridge Raiders. Only Raider in double figures, and he pops that one. So the Raiders 4 for 4, perfect from the foul stripe tonight. All coming in the second half. And it continues on, so 16 points now for Carter Whitehead, makes it a 53-37 game.
Now you just got to be patient, run your offense, run your sets, do what you need to do.
Mundy feeds to the corner. Tanner attacks the lane like he does so well and gets another bucket.
Yep.
9 points now.
I'm telling you, Tanner does a very, very good job of catching and going to the bucket like that. You know, I mean, teams you would think would start to realize, square up to him, make him shoot from out there, you know.
Good job by Beekler to tap it over to Foley for another 2 for him. He's got 8 points in the quarter, 16 in the ball game now.
See, Whitehead's trying to take over and do too much and create things. And it's tough.
Right.
I mean, it really is.
So Jasper up by 20, 57-37. Feed right there, so Tanner Ernie with a nice cut. Good job by Mundy to feed it to him. So Jasper starting to roll right here in this fourth quarter. Now leads 60-37. So there's a drive there. Nykum will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. So the Wildcats now with a 23-point lead, 3:33 to go. Tanner picks up his second foul.
We've got Howard, Englert, and Albrand coming in for Foley, Ernie, and Mundy.
So the Wildcats starting to empty their bench here. Oh, look out. Albrand almost loses his footing there. Grant Young gets it down low. Howard makes a move, and he draws the contact, so he'll go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1.
The difference between, and this isn't, I don't mean this mean, but Howard caught that ball on the low post. Didn't really know what to do.
Right.
Foley or Heichelbeck especially catches it, and he makes a move away.
Right.
You know, and when you can do that quickly, that's hard to defend. When you do what Cameron just did, that's easier to defend.
Right.
You know, and that's just the difference between the skill sets of the different players.
Right.
And like I said, I don't mean it mean against Cameron, you know, and hopefully he can get better playing against those guys in practice.
Right.
And learn some of that.
All right, so a quick drive there doesn't go for Nykum, and so Jasper with 3:05 to go and a 22-point lead. But, you know, the main thing with Cameron Howard, too, is that he's going to be a role player. It's just going to have to give you some minutes, get you some hustle point, or not even points, really. Those are bonuses, but just he's going to have to rebound. He's going to have to block out. He's going to have to defend. So that's really what his role is going to be, as Albrand hits a three-pointer.
Yeah, and, you know, to build on what you're saying is, you know, what if we get to some night where Heichelbeck or Foley gets in foul trouble?
Right.
Or both of them do.
Exactly.
You know, and then now all of a sudden Cameron's going to be in there in some critical minutes.
Sure.
So, you know, these are good minutes for him to get a play.
Beekler can't get it to go.
To get some varsity experience.
I agree. All right, so there's the three-pointer from the wing, doesn't go, and Jasper with 2:13 to go. 25-point lead, 63-38.
I'm glad you're good with that math, because I'd have to be here counting fingers and toes and everything else, trying to figure out what the lead is.
I failed that last problem there. All right, so 63-38, and we got substitutions.
I think that's all they're going to do. They're not even going to take a huddle.
Yeah.
Cabrick's in.
Timeout to get him in.
Yeah. Cabrick's in. Who else? Bradley and Bagley are the three that came in, I believe.
All right, so all Wildcats that have dressed tonight have hit the floor, so good opening night for Jasper, and Southridge has a few things you're going to need to work on. Could have caught that in the backcourt, but
yeah, I
thought
thought that was over and back, but what do I know?
There's a thought there by Charlie Cabrick. A little give and go. Good job by Howard to feed it down to him, but then they get it back out. Englert drives and kicks back.
Stepped out of bounds. Referee looked right at it.
Cats just moving it. Trying to work his clock down with 1:27 to go. Three-pointer by Cabrick goes. So Charlie Cabrick, again, he might be called on later in the season, possibly in situations too, so he shows he can hit a three-pointer. 66-38, Jasper. Coming to a minute to go. Whitehead spins around. Englert draws the contact, and he'll shoot two. So Whitehead will finish the night leading the Southridge Raiders. He's got 16 points right now, looking for 17 and 18. He's perfect from the line so far, 5 of 5, and he's short there.
And you jinxed him.
Sorry.
Announcer jinx. We talked about Jasper didn't miss a free throw in the first half.
Yeah. And then they started to come. Well, he hits another one there, so. Inside a minute, 66-39. Jasper up by 27. Bagley thought about it. Screen set there, but Cabrick pulls up on the jumper, doesn't go. Battle for the rebound, and Whitehead comes down. Quickly the other way. Feed down, and they're going to say a foul on the floor before the shot, or what?
Yeah, I think on the pass. Whitehead made a pass, kind of an alley-oop pass to someone. I don't know who it was, but I think they called the foul on the pass.
Yeah.
But they're in the double bonus, so it won't matter. They get 2 free throws. So.
And gets that one to drop, so he continues on after that miss. Has hit 2 in a row. 2, 4, 6, 7 of 8 from the foul line here in the second half for Whitehead, and pops that one. .26 seconds to go here. 66-41. Jasper with a 25-point lead. Bagley tries to feed into Englert, and it gets stolen there, so the Raiders have a chance to just trim to the final margin here. 8 seconds. Baseline drive there. Cats pick it up, and they can just dribble it out. So big opening night win for the Jasper Wildcats, 66-41, a 25-point win on the Raiders' home floor here at Huntingburg Memorial Gymnasium. So Jasper feeling good about the night, and Southridge with some work to do yet.
Yeah, I think, Craig, you know, there's some good things to take away from the game, you know, for the first night. Obviously, it's nice to get a win on the first game. I think last year we went to Linton. Was it Linton? Somewhere. Played a very good team and lost in overtime, I believe, on the first night. You know, so it's nice to get the season off on a winning note. You know, and I think overall the coaching staff's probably going to be fairly pleased with the way things took place. For the most part, I think, you know, we took care of the basketball. I mean, I don't know officially how many turnovers we had, but overall I thought it was pretty decent. There's a lot of coaching points, you know, that the coaching staff will work on now. You know, we've got a little break here before we come back. Let's see, what do we come back to? Evansville Bossy on the
next
30th.
Tuesday night, yeah.
Yeah, so we're off for basically a week with the holidays in here. You know, that'll be a little bit better test, I believe. You know, not to take anything away from Southridge, but, you know, Bossy's always, athletic-wise, they're going to be right there with any of the teams that we play this year.
Right.
And from what I've seen or read, they're supposed to have a pretty good basketball team this year. So it'll be, you know, we'll be at home, so that's going to be nice. But it'll be a little bit better challenge. But it's a good thing to have early in the season like this. you kind of see where you're at. You don't want to go out and win every game you play early in the season. You want to be able to, how does the team respond from a loss? How do they respond from adversity? How do they respond from these things? And, we talked about that last year. The season's a long year. It's a grind, and you have to take things away from each and every game that you play. And tonight you take the win away, but for an opening night, to have the amount of turnovers and shoot the free throws well, and I thought we did well with numerous things tonight. So, and like we said, it'll be interesting when hopefully one of the coaches will come up and talk to hear their insight to it, because again, like we've said numerous times, those coaches are with these guys every day in practice. They see and they know what to expect.
Right.
Us as spectators and broadcasters, we look at things and we think, we won by whatever points tonight. We played great. We did awesome.
Yeah.
And they might say, well, no, we didn't run our off. We were just the better team.
Right.
And we didn't run our offense, and we didn't do that, the things that we needed to get better.
Yeah.
So their perspective on things puts it in reality as to really how was the game tonight.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, again, Gus Heichelbeck got off to a quick start there in that first quarter with 11 points, finished with 13. He did not score in the second half, but I really like what the Wildcats were doing is running the offense with him down in the low blocks. And, as opposed to last year, he extended a lot out into the perimeter, and we'll need that at certain points. But tonight, again, when you got size advantage like that, you got to take advantage of it, and Cats did a great job there in that first quarter with Gus.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Craig. I addressed that point early in the game. I said I like to see Gus inside the paint. Not that he can't shoot from out there, but we need him inside there to get to score. Because if you continually pound the ball inside, it opens up Mundy and Young and those guys from the outside.
Right.
And it's not like we're just throwing the ball in there to somebody that don't know what to do with it. Gus can score when he's in there.
Yeah.
So, I thought from that standpoint we did a very good job tonight of moving the ball around, getting the ball into positions where we needed to capitalize and score.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I was also impressed with the touch that we saw from Connor Foley. He scored 8 points in that fourth quarter, 12 in the second half, finishes with 16 points. And, again, if you got that 1-2 punch down low of two guys that really can hit the shot, because, how many times you see a big man make a great move, but he just doesn't have the touch around the basket? Both those guys showed it tonight.
They did. I've known Gus to have that ability for a long time.
Right.
Gus has always been soft touch inside. Connor last year didn't show a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
He sometimes you wondered if he was going to throw it through the backboard or bank it off of it. But, tonight he seemed to look like he's improved a little bit on that.
Right.
And like you said, that's a good inside punch, 1-2 punch with those two in there to have the ability to score like that.
No question. All right, so we'll just go down to scoring here, and we'll see if one of the coaches come up here and talk with us. But first for the Southridge Raiders, just 4 players scored, but they were led by Carter Whitehead's 19 points, 8 points for Colin Tooley. Mick Ubelar was 6, and Caden Nykum was 6. And Jasper was led by Connor Foley, actually, with 16 points. 12 of those coming in the second half. 14 points for Carter Mundy and 11 points for Tanner Ernie, so a good night for him. 13 points from Gus Heichelbeck all in the first half. And then some bench scoring there with Albrand popping a 3, Charlie Cabrick popping a 3, and then also Cameron Howard was 1 of 3 from the foul line. So, yeah, you'll take a win, right?
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Early in the season, obviously last year with only 6 of them on the year, we would have took one at any point.
Yeah.
It's good to start the season out that way. And again, as a coach, you put more in how did you play.
Right.
The wins and losses, if you play well, the wins and losses are going to happen.
Yeah.
But if you struggle, then obviously like last year, they don't happen.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely take the win and you take some good points away from it. But there was also a lot of good teaching moments in this game, which I'm sure the coaching staff will sit down and talk about and address. And talking about the coaching staff, Coach Albrand has showed up.
All right. Perfect timing.
Long distance call here.
I know. Look at this. We got to extend that down. All right. First of all, they took the score down. So the final score was what, 66-41, right?
Sounds about right.
Okay, we'll take it. All right, 25-point win. All right, Jason Albrand, let's break this thing down. First of all, you know, I thought the Wildcats really got off to a great start. Gus Heichelbeck with 11 points in that first quarter. Getting our bigs involved tonight was huge for us.
Well, that's, you know, been a point of emphasis throughout the, I guess you call it the preseason here. You know, we feel like we got some kids in there that are good athletes that are good around the rim and kind of try to put teams in position to, are you going to double team or are you going to play, you know, single man in the post. So I thought we did a nice job of feeding the post, and I thought our guys did a nice job of being patient and finding the guy and making some really nice moves in there. So definitely that's something we've stressed on is even our outside shots, we like for them to come inside out, where it's a penetration with the ball or a post feed and they collapse and we kick it and reverse it. So I thought we had pretty good ball movement for the most part, yeah.
Okay, so you guys had a lot of time to really work on things. The football season ended a lot earlier than what we expected. So Foley and Grant Young and all the other guys that were involved in the football season, Gus Heichelbeck, how has that helped you to prepare for the start of the season?
Well, I think the most important thing is they come a little more refreshed. You never want the football season to end like it did, but you're able to give them, you know, basically 2 weeks off. I think the second week they came in twice that week. We were still conditioning. So, you know, that's probably been the number one thing is being able for those guys to kind of get rejuvenated versus they end the year, they've advanced in the tournament, our season started, and it's like the right thing is to give them 2 or 3 or 4 days off. But at the same time, you know, those are days that we're losing, and then they miss the first game and they're missing practice. And if you put something in, you got to then put it in when they, you know, back when they get back, and then you wait. And so it's just from that standpoint of them getting rested and for us to be able to do everything at the same time, not have to do it in pieces and repeat ourselves, I think was, you know, very helpful.
Well, another thing, too, when you saw the offense executed out there, I mean, how would you rate that tonight?
Well, you know, I thought that we got a lot of good looks. It's been a point of emphasis. I think last year we averaged 49, 50. It was not good.
Yeah.
And so we've had an emphasis on we changed our offense a little bit. A little more movement, a little more screening, less dribbling, and try to play to our strengths a little bit more. And so I thought, you know, we had good balance. I thought we were able to score in the paint, and I thought we also were able to hit some shots down. And if we can continue to have guys surround those bigs that can knock some shots down, it's going to make it, you know, more difficult to guard, obviously.
Okay, what about defensively? Were you happy with what you saw?
Yeah, I thought so. You know, they had 21 points at half, and 2 of those came on half quarters basically at the end of the buzzer.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a 15-point half, and the first one they hit, I think, at the rim 4 or 5 times and dropped in. So I thought, you know, I thought Southridge came out and played hard. You know, they just, you know, kind of got, I think they don't have quite the depth. They got wore down, but I thought they battled hard and were cutting hard and were running a lot of good sets. And that's what the hard thing about this first game is new coach, you know, new team basically, a couple holdovers from last year's team, so you really didn't know a lot about them. So, and then the fact they ran a lot of sets, I thought we did a pretty good job of being able to pick those up pretty quick and do the best we could without having a scouting report to shut them down.
Well, and the other thing, too, is you're always happy with a 20-plus point win over Southridge, of course, you know, in the rivalry and all that. But what are your thoughts on playing Southridge first game?
I don't like it. I don't like it on this Tuesday. I don't like it. You know, it was a nice crowd tonight. I know they honored their baseball team, and rightfully so. Just probably brought a few more people in, but it was a nice crowd. I think that's the lure of wanting to play around the holidays. But I don't like playing them right away. I'm not in our sectional anymore. I don't like that we scrimmage we scrimmage Saturday. We play Tuesday, so we really don't have time after the scrimmage to watch film because you got Monday's practice, and all of a sudden you're in the pregame and you got a game Tuesday, and so, you know, I'm not sure where we're at on that, but I would like, even no matter who we're playing, I wish it would be after the holidays.
Oh, I agree.
You know, so and also to that regard, if football team, you know, a lot of times we have multiple sport kids, and it's what we need to have, and so. If we have kids and we go extend, and even if you're in the sectional final, I think it puts you in a bind. Do we give them time off? If we don't, they miss a game. So I think it helps from that regard. But I thought tonight was, like I said, it was a nice crowd, but it definitely wouldn't mind seeing it moved.
No, I agree. All right, well, it's a big win. Congratulations on the win. Good
Thank
start.
you.
1-0. You know, last year wins were hard to come by.
Well, you know, it was really neat that, you know, you kind of forget after going through last year when every gym was basically vacant and it felt like a glorified scrimmage every game. And, you know, I felt bad for the kids not being able to experience that gymnasium loud and the whole deal. And so that was nice to get this going. And, you know, so, you know, we got tough when we come out. Our next game, our Bossy game got moved to next Tuesday. So obviously they're going to be a tough foe. So we'll have our work cut out for us. But definitely excited about the win. And, you know, like you said, last year we had a lot of tough losses. I mean, you can make a million excuses. We just basically didn't make winning plays at the right time. But I thought we mentioned before the game tonight to our team that even though last year the record obviously wasn't anybody wanted, we never quit.
Right.
The kids played hard. You know, we had a couple bad outings. We had a bad outing against Castle. We had a bad outing against Jeffersonville. Then we fought back, go to Bedford, take them to the wire, and I thought we we didn't quit. You know, so that was a positive, obviously, from last year. A lot of these kids last year it was their first varsity experience. You know, and even our seniors last year, outside of Caleb Berger, were inexperienced. They were basically first-year varsity players.
Exactly.
And then we had COVID and missing practices, and it was just the perfect storm. But hopefully our kids that are returning learned last year how hard you have to play to win and decision-making and making the right play at the right time because it's not easy. There are no easy nights.
I agree. Well, with a big win tonight, that turkey's going to taste better.
It always makes the holidays a little bit better. You're right.
All right. Well, congratulations, and the Wildcats 1-0 on the season.
That's right. Thank you.
Okay, so again, the Wildcats win this basketball game over the Southridge Raiders. A big win tonight, 66-41. So for Jason Stamm, and thank you very much for Colson Montgomery having the halftime interview with Jason, and looking forward to hearing that. And of course, Jason Albrand with his halftime or his post-game interview. We appreciate that all the time when the coaches come up here and give us some insight. Jeremy Markos, great job on the video. My name is Craig Schneider. This is Wildcat Basketball here on 18 WJTS. Good night.